Hi yogis, so today we're going to be doing a yin practice which we're going to focus only on the spine. So it's a complete spinal practice and releasing toxins out the spine, and I will talk you through each movement. So what you're going to need is either a foam roller. Okay, this foam roller may be a little bit too big for you to practice with in the beginning. So as you increase your spine flexibility, you can increase the size of your foam roller. If you have a smaller one, it works a little bit better, so this is a little bit thick. If you're going to be using this type of roller, then make sure you have yourself a block that is accessible to you throughout your practice. If you don't have any of those, then you can roll up a yoga mat and get it about this size, so it's not as thick as your foam roller. Or you can use a pool noodle and roll a thin mat around that and then just tie it on the end so it doesn't come loose during the practice. Because we're going to be rolling out the back and holding posture in different areas of the back. So get your things together that you're going to need for your practice and then come and join me on your mat. So if you need to, pause the video and then you'll start it when you're ready. Good. So we're just going to go and move to our mats, make our way to our mats. Okay, so you're going to come onto your mat, make sure your roller is lengthways. And this is going to be about a 40-minute to 50-minute practice of the total spine. Working out every single vertebra. It's going to feel like you've had a massage. Please don't go too deep into the postures if your back is not as flexible. Remember, less is more, and rather do 1% of the posture correctly than doing it wrong and in too much pain. Because yin is about taking it easy and using 50% of your practice. So don't go to 100%, we're going 50% to that extension. Alright, if your roller is too big, you're going to need a block for the next movement. So make sure you have your block and everything ready for you so you don't make too many movements during the practice. I want you to take it as slowly as possible. Then you're going to come to laying on your back, placing the roller underneath your neck, so in the nape of your neck, and just gently relaxing legs straight out. Try to keep the spine as straight as possible throughout the practice. You're going to have your palms facing up, your gaze is gentle onto the ceiling. And we're going to start to roll out the neck, so side to side, gentle movements, not fast, not slow. If the roller is moving, just gentle pressure of your hands onto the roller while you're massaging out your neck, moving your neck side to side, gently massaging into your neck. So I will already have shown you pictures, depending on what part of your practice you are on, of the spine and how we're going to be working out all into the nerves of the neck. So now come through to stillness, arms by your side, and turn your head to about 2 o'clock. And your gaze is going to be at 2 o'clock, and gently just relaxing the neck to your right side. And as we relax the neck to the right side, we're going to slowly lift the chin up and down, up and down, up and down, and up and down. One more up, one more down. Find your stillness, complete stillness. And now we're going to move the eyes. So your eyes are going to look above the head all the way back, but keep your chin tucked down. And now gently gaze your eyes all the way to the far side towards your feet area without moving your head. And lift your eyes all the way back up into the back of your skull and then all the way down. Now turn your eyes to face right, but do not move your head. And now look towards the left. And now look again towards the right. Again towards the left. Again towards the right. Holding the posture here for about 3 minutes. So you know, during the practice for yin, we hold postures for the duration between 3 and 5 minutes. You just find comfort and stillness in this as you're massaging out the neck. We're also compressing into the nerves. Remember, the nerves in the body are connected to every single area and aspect of the body. So from the top of the spinal column to the base at the lumbar spine. Okay, we've got the spinal column holding the cords, okay? So that's why it's called the spinal cord or column, holding all the nerves that are traveling throughout the body. In the pictures that I'm going to show you from the back, you're going to see all the nerve endings, what their function is. So you know that your cervical spine is C1 to C7, but we have the nerves in the spine that is C1 to C8. Okay, so don't get confused with the pictures you may see and ask, but there's only 7 cervical spine vertebra. There are only 7 cervical vertebrae, but there are 8 cervical nerves. Now gently bring your head back into center and turn your head towards the left. Again, if your roller is moving, just gentle pressure with the hands onto it and lift your head up and chin down. Inhale, chin up. Exhale, 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 keep down. So it's about 10 o'clock. Now slowly inhale, lift the eyes up. Do not move your head. So eyes going up towards the ceiling and then down towards the ground. Eyes extend up towards the ceiling and down towards the ground. Now turn your eyes towards the left and move your eyes towards the right. Again, eyes towards the left and then eyes towards the right. And then gentle gaze resting in a neutral position, even eyes closed. So when we stimulate the eyes, we are activating the vagus nerve. So the vagus nerve is responsible for the parasympathetic nervous system. This nerve is responsible for that fight or flight. It's responsible for the heart rate. And so when we're in a anxious or a stressed environment, or we're feeling nervous or whatever, and the heart rate spikes, doing some eye exercises and breathing techniques will relieve that, and we work into the vagus nerve, okay, which then reduces the heart rate, calms your body down, and we work into the parasympathetic nervous system. If you looked or watched the video with Travis Elliott, you would have noticed he spoke about the nervous system working into the parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system. You know now that the sympathetic nervous system is responsible for our fight, flight, or freeze in the body, which is then responds to the meridian of the triple warmer or triple burner. We need to calm that side down because we work in that area most of the day, and we need to get into the parasympathetic nervous system to get fuel back into our bodies. This is our relaxation state. That's why we need more yin in the world. Bring your head back through to center, and we're going to go and move your foam roller or whatever you are using underneath the shoulders, okay? So just underneath the shoulders. We're not going lower than the shoulders, so in line with the tip of your shoulders. If you have a big roller, then place your head onto your block. So all you want to do is bring your arms a little bit forward, so you're getting more of the back stretched out, and then relax your arms down, okay? So we're working into, we've just done the C1 to C7 as we've had the bolster, the roller in the back and the nape of the neck. And when we work in from C1 to C7, okay, those are the big nerve endings that is responsible for information going through to the brain. Now, the C1 is the Atlas, okay, named after the Greek god Atlas, who was said to have held the world on his shoulders, okay. So the same thing can be said for the head, as the head is such a big weight. Our Atlas, C1, is holding the world on our shoulders, our heads, okay, that whole thought. All right, so now we're moving into the thoracic spine, so from T1 to about T5, and just between the shoulder blades, you're going to get in between the shoulder blades, so more up to about the trapezius muscles and shoulders, and just resting there. So as we go through the spine, at the moment, when we were in the nape of the neck, we were opening up the throat chakra. We haven't done the throat chakra yet, but I just want you to maybe make notes of how that felt. So if you have a journal or if you're doing your diary work, then what I would do is after this practice, just notice how you were feeling as we were moving through the body, different sensations. So maybe you had a pain in the throat, maybe you didn't notice at all. Maybe at the moment you've got a little bit of a heavy chest, notice that sensation. Notice if you're feeling joy. What are the different images and signals that your brain is sending to you as you move through this practice? Just relax into the sensations. You can do this entire practice with your eyes closed. And this is where you need to start to get into your body. Just notice and feel your body. So don't worry about things being wrong or right and looking and worrying about what's happening on the screen. Just see what works for you as you listen to the practice. So I want you to start practicing yin with listening more than looking, feeling more than trying to see how things should be or shouldn't be, because your body is different to everybody's bodies. We all have different bodies, and we can only get into postures to our own capability of the body. And whatever works for our bodies won't work for everybody's bodies. So practice mindfully and consciously. Don't worry if I am not speaking. I will definitely guide you to the next movement. You don't have to worry about that. So we want to just look up. Are we moving? Aren't we moving? Am I doing it right? Don't worry about that. I've got you. And slowly we're going to make a movement now by lifting the back. Bring your chin towards your chest, and then slowly move your foam roller underneath your armpit. So just in line with the armpits, not totally underneath yet. And we're now opening up the heart space more. If you need your block, please place it underneath your head. If not, you can remove it. And if you want a deeper expression, change the level of your block to either the second level or flat, as long as you're not compromising your neck. And then find stillness. So notice how this feels for you as we're opening up the heart. Notice what's going on. Try to relax your shoulders, let your shoulders sag a little bit. And if they're not, gently take the fingertips and just pull your shoulders away from each other. You want to open up the chest with the hands and just open up your chest and then relax your arms down. And notice how this feels in your neck. So again, opening up the throat chakra and the heart chakra. And just for interest's sake, imagine the color green and diarize after this, how does that color make you feel? If it feels tweaky in the back, it's okay to feel tweaky in the back. So at the same time as you go through this practice, massaging into the meridians of the body. So you'll see on the diagram the different corresponding organs that we are working as we're going through the body vertebra by vertebra. So massaging into the back, what do we know about the back and the meridians? Which is the meridian that is in the back, the biggest one? Okay, it's not an organ. That's one of those that is not an organ, and it's called the dew meridian. Okay, so the dew meridian responsible, it's the governing nerve in the body, the largest one, and it's responsible for the yang in the kidneys and the yang flow of energy in your body. So remember, each organ has got yin and yang in it, just depending on how we are working the organ and the theme towards the class. So we want to stimulate more yin as we're stimulating the yang. So if we're working on the yang now into the spine, but we are holding it in a yin-like way, we are comforting the yang, so it doesn't give us all that power and energy that it wants us to be in a stressful mode. We are nurturing our yang, and we're making our yang stronger so that our yang can become more positive, and it can also lead us to that calmness instead of having us in a state of stress. So we're strengthening the yang with yin, and that's what I was talking about in the beginning. I think in the first lecture, that once we strengthen the yin, you'll see how strong our yang is. And now slowly, with a conscious movement, roll your foam roller underneath the armpits. So it's now at the top of the rib cage, okay? Not at the bottom of the rib cage. So in the middle of the rib cage, you can actually feel, and you can feel your bottom rib. So your foam roller is not at the bottom rib. It's in the middle of the spine, okay? So it's about T7 to about T8 or 9. All right, extend your arms out to the side, relax your shoulders. And now we're opening up the solar plexus, which is your next lecture. We're going to work on the solar plexus. And because we're working on the spine, doesn't mean that it's only the spine that we're working on. At the same time as we work on the spine, we're opening up the front of our bodies. So working on the back of the body in this posture, rolling the spine out, we're opening up the front of the body. Again, as we open up the front of the body, we're massaging into our heart, into our lungs. So we're opening up and extending our lungs up towards the ceiling. We're shining our heart up towards the ceiling. It's quite vulnerable because these are heart-opening postures, and we're going into our expression, into our emotional thoughts in the meridian system, we are massaging into organs, and in the chakra system, we are massaging into emotions at the moment. So while we're in the solar plex area, we're working down towards the solar plexus, okay, which is above the navel and just below the heart. And at the same time, we're at the heart and the solar plexus. So because we're at the solar plexus and the heart, this means that we are in a very emotional state, okay? Our solar plexus, when we get into this talk on the solar plexus, you're going to see this is the first emotional chakra. Same time massaging out the spine. So doing this type of exercise where we're rolling out the spine, this can alleviate and improve hunchback, rounded shoulders, good posture. So if you see people with body shapes that are really rounded, it's because they've been protecting their heart, closing up, and they've had a lot of pain. They can suffer opening up the heart in back bends because they want to protect the heart a lot. So when you protect your heart, the muscles around the heart contract and it forms, so the pericardium contracts and it protects your heart a lot. You close off to the world, you have rounded shoulders, you're drooping as you're walking around, you can see different postures, and we're going to go through that as well. And as we're opening up the heart, we're improving our posture completely because we're releasing the muscles that are holding onto the heart and opening and stretching them more. Notice the imagery and the thought process that comes up for you now and how that color green is feeling for you. Now we're going to slowly move our foam roller again. So bend your knees slightly, okay, because you may have to lift up a little bit of your body. And then as you lift it, slightly raising the bum, bringing your foam roller to the bottom rib. So feel the bottom rib and then bring the foam roller there. So it's not in the small or in the lower back yet. So we don't want to go into the arch of the back yet. It's above the arch of the back. And it's going to feel quite intense. Now, if your head is not on the floor, remember you can use a block, a pillow, whatever, just to lift your head a little bit up so there is not too much arching into the neck. If your spine is flexible, it is okay to have the head hang back, and it's a deep, deep expression of the posture, but we are still getting the same benefits with the block underneath your head because we do not want to compromise your neck. Especially if you've had neck things going on for you. Doing this practice, you can do it a couple of times and just notice how you feel as you do it and then play around with it. Sometimes you don't have to hold the postures for so long, and this is a great way just to open up your body in the mornings or just before you go to bed, relaxing all the nerves, relaxing the total spine. Working through the chakras, bringing them back into balance, working through the meridians, because total spine work is total body work. Each nerve responsible for a function in the body, in the brain, in the fingers, in the wrists, in the toes, everything, absolutely everything. So nice to do this practice at the end of the day or in the evening. Reason being is that when we wake up in the morning, because cartilage is able to expand and contract, in the morning it's expanded and we are taller. So if you had to go and measure how tall you are in the morning and then when you get home in the afternoon or in the day, if you've got a 9-to-5 job or 8-to-5 job, whatever job you have, and you do not stretch all day long doing yoga, then you measure yourself in the morning and measure yourself in the evening, and you'll see you'll have shrunk in the evening because the cartilage has then contracted because of gravity. So gravity has pulled us down into the earth, and the cartilage is now contracted. Whereas in the morning, we have been resting on our beds, sleeping, the cartilage is relaxed, we're not standing and sleeping, so we're not being pulled down with gravity, and we are taller. So I do this practice in the evening with my students. You can do it a few times, don't do it all the time, maybe once a month, or however you feel, how many young classes you host, or if you're just practicing at home by yourself, you can do it a little bit more often. And since I've been doing yoga, I haven't had any back pain. It's actually such a blessing because I used to be a runner. I ran the comrades, and I used to be strapped everywhere, and I used to suffer with my back. And since taking yoga more seriously and being a practitioner and a yoga instructor, I don't suffer back pain. So you're going to find different intensity levels as we work through the practice, and it will be interesting for feedback on which areas you are battling more with. So some of you will battle more with some areas, and others of you will battle more in other areas that you may have found easy and not so easy, etc. And just notice what the color orange feels like for you right now. And if you feel like it's really pressing into your kidneys, let it. It's okay to have a little bit of pain. We're still moving consciously with our bodies, okay? We're massaging into the kidneys. So as we massage, we're working on the yin aspect of the kidneys. As we find the intensity a little bit more maybe. And notice, is there a little bit of a twinge running down one side of your leg, the other side of the leg feels fine? Do you feel, just notice every little achy, tweaky little thing that's happening in your body. Now slowly bend your knees again, and gently lift and roll your roller gently into the arch of your back, not right down to the lumbar spine, okay? So we want to work right at the bottom of the thoracic spine, okay? So, and then we're going to get to the sacrum. And as you open up now, we're working from solar plexus into the sacral chakra. And we're still opening up solar plexus, so just imagine the color yellow and notice what does that feel for you? How does the color yellow make you feel? What does it make you think of? What is the first image that pops into mind? It could be fruit, it could be bananas, it could be pina coladas. And then obviously the sacral chakra, being orange, how does that make you feel? Yes, there is intensity in your lower back, and this may be one of the most intensity areas that we're working on. So if it is too much for you and you just cannot, bend your knees a little bit. It's okay to back off. Notice how it's feeling in your hips. Notice the sensations in your hips as you're opening up. The intensity is going to intensify as we work into trauma release. So because trauma release happens in the hips and in the heart, we are going to feel more intensity, not because we're arching the spine, not because we're opening up the hips and we don't have flexibility. There's things going on in the body. There's things happening in the body. And find yourself just noticing your breath if it's too intense. Relax your shoulders. Relax your shoulders, let yourself drape over your foam roller, so if it's a hard foam roller, as this one is, you are going to feel intensity, okay? Don't worry if you're not feeling that intensity, and if you have a softer roller or if you're using your mat. Sometimes I take a pool noodle and I place it in the middle of the mat just to get more of an intensity of the rollout, okay? So try it both ways. Maybe go get yourself a foam roller, or maybe go get yourself a pool noodle, roll your mat around the pool noodle, and then do this practice. If it's too intense right now and you feel like you just can't, I urge you to hang in there, because yes, it is intense. It is uncomfortable. Yin isn't about always being comfortable, okay? This is where we confuse restorative with yin. So we will go into yin versus restorative when we go into the second half of the course, where we practice the postures and the themes, etc. I like to mix yin and restorative together. It's my personal preference. And take a deep inhale breath. Exhale, part your left side out. Okay, now slowly bring your feet closer together. Walk your feet closer up towards your hips. Gently lift your lower back up. You're going to feel pressure. We're not lowering bum or lower or back to the mat. You're putting it right at the small of your back, so sacrum. Maybe you want to release your block out from under your head, so that your upper back and shoulders are now on the mat. If this is good for you and you want to keep your feet, your knees bent, stay like that. If not, and you want to feel the intensity of the straight legs, then straighten out the legs, okay? You don't have to do this just to feel the pain. We are still working out the spine with a little bit of support with the legs, but don't bend the knees too much. And now keep your chin tucked towards your chest. Now really explore the color orange. As you explore the color orange, how does the color orange make you feel? What's the first thing that comes to mind? How would you feel about wearing the color orange? Remember, this is the area of our sexuality, our creativity. And just because you might not like the color orange does not mean that you are not creative or a sexual being. Let's not get confused here. But exploring colors and how they make us feel, just saying the color orange, how does it make you feel? Can you picture orange juice and the freshness of the orange juice? Can you smell the sweetness of an orange? Allow your hips to relax and your belly to sink toward the spine. Softening the top of your body now. Just soften it. Allow your belly to just collapse towards your spine. And remember, so as we're working out the dew, the governing vessel of the body and the meridians, we're also working out the ren as we were stretching the front of the body. So the ren channel, so your dew channel is yang, your ren channel is yin. So we're working them at the same time. Yin and yang working together, okay? But in a yin-like way. So the Ren channel is responsible for creation. It doesn't just mean birth and giving birth and sexuality and all of that. It means your creative side. So the Ren channel running down the front of your body, all the way down to the perineum, and the Du channel the same. We are working both hand in hand. The one flows into the other and the other flows into the other, and they can't live without each other. But we're trying to find a good balance between the two. So when we do yin, there's a lot of yang into us because we're working organs which have both. And because we practice yin way, we're strengthening our yang. And we're working into parasympathetic nervous system, which makes us feel good. We're recharging the body. I hope you have all watched the movie Heal, as it's powerful as how the body can heal itself. That's what it's for. Body was made to heal itself. Now slowly, gently press into the ground with your heels. Do not lift too high, and bring your roller to your lumbar spine. So just below the small of the back. Remember, the back is not on the floor yet. So you do not have your bum down on the floor yet. That will be almost in the next movement after we've worked on the bum. Relax your shoulders. Make sure your shoulders are relaxed, pressing them down a little bit and relaxing your palms to face upwards. Notice the sensations that may run into toes, into hands, into legs. So remember, you can do this practice straight legs right now, and it's depending on what emotions are happening for you, what is going on for your body. Okay, if it's accessible for you, straighten out the legs. Do this practice like that. If it's too much for you, then bend your knees. You may want to know why my knees are bent and don't have straight legs. So I do practice this practice both ways. There's a lot of things going on for me right now. This morning I just found out that a friend of mine had passed away. And I can feel the emotions are holding on in my body. And so there is trauma there. And when we practice and we are giving classes, we need to express ourselves and come from a place of authenticity. When we come from a place of authenticity and you can show your students, or as a practitioner, be vulnerable, because you are human. You are human. And we just want to give a gift to everybody of the gift of self-caring, self-nurturing. Being able to be vulnerable towards your students and let them know how you're feeling, because you can only teach from a place of knowledge of what you know, of what you've gone through, what you are going through, so that they know, I can relate to this person. Be relatable. Don't make the practices about yourself. This is about them. And when you speak to them, so that they know that this person also goes through things like that, and it makes them more open and more vulnerable to their own emotions. It allows them to feel on a different level and not just be in a class stretching. They are able to explore and be curious about what's going on for them. And if you can say, this is what's happening. My body is feeling this way at the moment because of, they know what to expect because of what they may be going through. And then slowly push into the ground, lift up and roll the bolster onto your lower bum cheeks, so into the coccyx. Still lower back is not on the mat, straighten out your legs if you can. So we're on the coccyx and we're at the root chakra, our grounding, our foundation. You may feel this may be too intense for you, or you may feel, oh, this is better, this is more relaxed, I can deal with this. Try to straighten out the legs, relax your shoulders, chin towards your chest. We're at the foundation of our being, our background, our culture, our belief system. And notice the color red. And just notice when you learned about the root chakra, how did you feel about color red then, and how do you feel about the color red now? So as we do this, massaging into the spine and each vertebra, we've been separating the vertebra one at a time as we're rolling and holding posture. Notice different sensations into hips, into buttocks, into thighs, into fingertips. You may feel pressures happening into the hands that you didn't experience before. Just feel that out. Notice, do you have to open your eyes? Do you have to keep your eyes closed? Is it okay to close your eyes and practice? Is it okay to feel things? Make mental notes of what you're feeling. And then after the entire course, go back to the beginning of your diary if you had start one. If you haven't, start one now, it's never too late. And just notice. Just write down notes for yourself. It doesn't have to be in a diary, maybe post-it notes. Whatever it is. I felt like this at this time. And then check back after the course. How do you feel about this and how do you feel about that? And we'll be exploring different things as we go into different practices. And we'll ask the same questions at different times. How do you feel about this? How do you feel about that color? And just notice what happens for you and how you feel about it. And what are the thoughts that come up for you then? Notice how beautiful the stretch feels into the hips as you're opening your hips up and releasing the emotions where we hold a lot of trauma. Okay, so you can hold them into the hip flexors, into the psoas muscles. That's where we get sciatica as well. It's from holding tension, stress, anxiety. As you work through these different areas, go and refer back to your notes. Go refer back to the meridians. Go and refer back to the chakras and see what happened there. How did I feel there? What to expect there? So you can start to make connections between all the different energies that are happening in the body. Now remember, never, never ever profess to be a doctor or give advice. You can only guide from knowledge that you know, okay? So don't ever talk nonsense to people. Speak truth and rather be honest. I don't know the answer to that. And then, if you're going to be doing this practice, remember to always ask, do you have an injury? Do you have something going on in your back? Don't say, this is going to heal you, this is going to... No. If they have an injury, have you been cleared by your doctor? What does your doctor say? When did the injury happen? Was it last week? Was it 2 years ago? Okay, 2 years ago. Should be done by now, okay? Take it easy. Give them something gentler to do this practice. And that's when we're going to start to speak about the use of props. Props are very important. I find a lot of teachers are not experienced in knowledgeable in using props and assisting practitioners to use the props. So we're going to work on that. And this doesn't have to just be related to yin, it can be related to your vinyasa practices too. And slowly bend your knees. Now, be so gentle. Lift your tailbone up. You're going to feel quite tweaky in the lower back. Place your roller underneath your bum, just at the top of the thighs. Lower your bum to the mat. Okay? Relax the back. Relax your legs onto your foam roller and allow the lower back and your spine to relax and release completely. Sometimes, in the first time actually when I did this practice, my entire spine kicked as I lay down and it felt like I had the best chiropractic adjustments ever. Now we're just massaging up the back of the legs, just below the bum. In this part, we won't be holding for too long. Slowly move your foam roller not underneath the knees, just before the knees, before the back of the kneecaps. Allow your legs to become heavy onto your foam roller. Relax your shoulders. Even me, I find myself sometimes tense. Relax your shoulders. So keep checking in with your body. Relax your jaw. Allow your jaw to be heavy, even if the mouth is slightly open. Now slowly bring your roller towards the back of your knees, so right in the joints and the back of the knees. Allow your body to just relax. Don't tuck, don't pull, don't move. Total spine release. Total body release. Allow your knees to just relax onto your foam roller. Allow your eyes to become heavy. And now slowly with your foot, move your roller to your calf muscles. And gently move your legs back and forth, just rolling out the calf muscles. Don't worry if it's not going down to the heels. You do not need it to do that. Just the back of the calf muscles. So you're rolling backwards and forwards, then come to stillness. Let your legs rest. If it doesn't move too much for you, if you've used your mat to roll up and you're not getting that massage into the back of the legs, remember next time maybe try a pool noodle, wrap it around and then tie your mat up so that it doesn't move and you're able to roll. Otherwise, maybe just invest in a foam roller, but not as big as this one. The practice works better with a smaller one, unless you are more flexible in the spine. Remember, the spine has got a flexibility so much that it can bend almost, well, to exactly 2/3 of a circle. So as we increase spine flexibility, and that means backwards, not forwards. So into the wheel shape, 2/3 of a circle. Unless you've got hyperflexibility, some people can grab their ankles and round the spine almost completely. Now slowly with your foot, move your roller to your ankles, to your heels, right down to the bottom by the ankles, and gently just massage out the heel and the ankles. We're not on your foot yet. And then just rest at the bottom of the foot. And if you remember your anatomy, that's the tarsals, the metatarsals, the joint between the ankle and the leg is called the what? You should know. And then slowly, with control, place your feet onto your roller. Walk it down to the base, the bottom of the mat, and just roll out the feet onto the toes and back to the heels, onto the toes, and onto the heels, onto the toes, onto the heels, onto the toes, onto the heels. And then move the roller completely away. Straighten out the legs. Now take your right foot. Place your heel between your big toe and your second toe. And push your toes back with your right foot. Just notice the pressure points as you're pushing down with the heel between the toes, and you're massaging your heel into the toes there. Just notice the sensation you may be feeling. Now uncross and take your other leg, your left leg, place the ankle, the heel between the toes or rest it on the toes and massage the heel into the toes. And pull your toes back, stretch your toes, and release that. And gently walk your feet up towards your bum. Bring your right knee into your chest, keep your chin tucked towards your chest. Keep your left knee bent, pull your knee in towards your right armpits. And then gently lift the left knee up and pull your knee in towards your chest and in towards the left armpit. The knees in towards the armpits. Flex your feet towards the ceiling. So you're extending. Okay, is this flexion or extension? You're flexing your knees, flexing your feet, dorsiflexing toes towards your face. See if you can grab the outside of your feet. Pull your knees in towards your chest for happy baby. If you can't grab the outside of your feet, grab the inside or grab your big toes with your peace sign fingers and pull your knees in towards your chest. And then gently, slowly bring your knees back towards your chest. Relax your feet. Slowly lift your shoulders, your head, your chest up and touch your forehead to your knees. And then gently lay down into your Savasana. Stay in Savasana. I'm going to play you a meditation. Very short meditation. Just stay into the Savasana. Don't move. Relax.
Hi, I'm Sarah Blondin, and I am the author of Heart-Minded: How to Hold Yourself and Others in Love. Most of us have a kind of challenging relationship with our feelings, and we're most often kind of stuffing them down or ignoring them or letting them make all their noise and never really addressing them. And a really easy practice that I use for feelings, instead of getting caught in identifying with them, we're just going to learn to let them go. So we're just going to begin by bringing our eyes to a close and getting really comfortable in our bodies. Deep inhale, long exhale out the mouth. To see if you can blur the edges of your physical body. And imagine turning into this great wide ocean. And there's ruby-colored coral in your sand. Everything is at deep peace. Feelings are not us. They are not who we are. They are trapped memories of hurt. Trapped identities, old stories, habitual ways of thinking. But we are the ocean and we are alive. And I want you to imagine a bubble rising up from the shifting sand bottom of the ocean. And as the bubble rises, I want you to maybe name a feeling, even a thought or an old memory that is no longer serving you or that you'd like to let go of. And just watch that feeling rise to the surface of the ocean. Watch it pop and enter back in the air. And you can do this for as long or as little as you need, just naming any feelings that rise up within your water. Maybe even bringing a soft smile to your face as you watch these things leave you. They are not you. They are but passing wind. They are but bursting bubbles of grace. Our feelings are not punitive. They're not meant to be wished away or to feel shameful about. They're there just to be let go of.